Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Tuesday on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the highly anticipated new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play.
We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon. Series premiere Tuesday on NBC.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, Credit Unions versus Banks by Daniella of iliketodabble.com. Everyone needs a place to store their money. Make sure you choose a trusted financial institution when considering where to stash your cash, either a credit union or a bank. But what's the difference between those two, and which one is best for you? Could one be cheaper than the other for you in the long run? Does having a branch location matter to you? Do you care that your fees are going towards a community of members or for a bank to just make more money? Whether you're looking around for the first time or you're a seasoned veteran looking to open another account, you'll want to know the difference between a bank and a credit union before you make your decision. What is a credit union? A credit union is a trusted financial institution that's not for profit and run by their members. More than 118 million Americans hold $1.4 trillion in assets across 5,700 credit unions in America, according to a 2019 report from the Credit Union National Association. The average credit union is about half the size of the average bank. They're smaller and more personal because the members run and own the credit union. Credit unions versus banks. How are banks and credit unions different? The biggest difference between a bank and a credit union is that banks are for-profit institutions and credit unions are not-for-profit institutions. Banks focus on maximizing profit for their stockholders. A credit union is focused on giving their customers the best experience and gives their profits back through lower fees, better rates, and other perks like free checking and savings accounts. Some credit unions have better high-yield accounts in both their checking and saving account options, which make them usually more appealing than banks, but this does depend on the specific credit union. High-yield savings accounts can pay you at least 500% more interest than normal banks, allowing you to make more money on the money you're saving, such as in your emergency fund. Pros of credit unions. Since credit unions are run by their members, they're committed to having excellent customer service. You'll get a more personalized experience since you're more than just a customer. Members have ownership of credit unions and can vote on different things. Not only are they committed to customer service, but they're committed to giving their customers the best financial offerings available. They offer lower interest rates and higher savings rates for banks, which is particularly great for small businesses. Opening a business bank account for your side hustle at a credit union could save you a ton in fees down the line. This is because they're not-for-profit institutions and they give their profits back to their members. On top of that, many offer low or no fee accounts and services for their members. You'll definitely get more bang for your buck when you choose a credit union. Cons of credit unions. However, credit unions don't only have upsides. They tend to be smaller than banks, which affects the financial products they can offer. If you're looking for something with robust financial offerings, you might want to consider using a bank as well. Due to their smaller size, they have less branches open, and they might be inconvenient for you to visit with any regularity. This is especially problematic since they might also not have the same user-friendly technology as banks. When you choose to go with a credit union, you might be opting out of mobile banking, and they might not have full-service banking online, depending on the size of your credit union. You also need to meet certain criteria when joining a credit union, so there's a possibility you might not be eligible to join the credit union you have your heart set on. Pros of banks. Since banks tend to be larger than credit unions, they have a wider offering of services. You'll get full-service banking, loan, and retirement products. there won't be as many restrictions due to the size of the financial institution. If you're looking to create a one-stop shop for all your financial needs, banks could be what you're looking for. They also have multiple locations open, which is more convenient for you as a patron, since you'll be able to pop into the bank in more places in your city. You'll also have access to more ATMs around the area, which save you money on ATM fees. Online banks are particularly great for location-independent side hustlers, remote workers, and entrepreneurs. Not only does their geographical positioning make them an excellent choice, but banks also have better online and mobile banking technology. If you like checking your balance online or transferring money from your phone, a bank could be a better option than a credit union. Cons of banks. While banks have plenty of benefits that draw customers to them, there are some downsides as well. Because banks are for-profit institutions, they come with higher fees for their products. If you choose to take out a loan through a bank, you might be subject to higher interest rates, and the checking and savings accounts at banks tend to come with higher fees as well. You're also potentially opting into less personalized customer service since you aren't a member of a bank, but instead a customer. If you're looking for exquisite customer service and a financial institution willing to go above and beyond for you, then you might not want to choose a bank. FDIC versus NCUA. The way that credit unions and banks are insured is also different, and you'll want to make note of that before making your final decision. While they work similarly, it's important to know the difference between the two in case the financial institution should fail. Credit unions are insured by the NCUA, and banks are insured through the FDIC. However, they work fairly similarly. Both are regulated. You'll get paid out by the NCUA if your credit union should happen to fail, and by the FDIC if your bank should happen to fail. What to keep in mind? There are a couple of things to think about as you're making your decision for which one to go with, so you make the best decision for your personal situation. Start by asking yourself these questions. Do I need a branch location? Do I need a certain amount of features available for an online banking option because I may be location independent? Am I saving on rates and fees? And do I want a high yield account option like a high yield savings account? The bottom line. Credit unions and banks are very similar financial institutions. They have great perks that they pass along to their members, as well as some serious drawbacks depending on which institution you choose. Regardless, it's important that you do research before choosing any financial establishment to ensure that it fits your needs. You just listened to the post titled Credit Unions versus Banks by Daniella of ILikeToDabble.com. Imagine you're a business owner who has to rely on a dozen different software programs to run your company, none of which are connected, and each one is more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one simple, easy-to-use platform, giving you peace of mind that your business is always being taken care of from every angle. Odoo has user-friendly open-source applications for everything. We're talking CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and everything in between. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop wasting your time and money on those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. It doesn't get much better than that. So what are you waiting for? Discover how Odoo can take your business to the next level by visiting odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo, modern management made simple.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I absolutely love the idea of credit unions. And while my mortgage was sold to one, I don't do most of my banking there. Mobile banking is incredibly important to me. In fact, I haven't walked into a branch in probably 10 years. And I have very little need for physical cash. In fact, the last time I tried to go to an ATM, I realized that my debit card had been expired for 6 months. That's how much I don't need cash. I personally have my checking account with Schwab. It has a brokerage account attached to it. I've never paid any fees. There were no foreign transaction fees when I traveled abroad for 2 months. And if I ever do need to go to an ATM, they reimburse all the ATM fees. I also have a high yield savings account with Capital One 360. This is where I stash my emergency/opportunity fund, and I'm able to transfer money in and out with ease. I've never paid any fees or have had any issues with customer service with either of these accounts. In fact, I think Schwab has the best customer service of any financial institution. And I have experience with working with all the majors between my investments and credit card churning. Only about 10% of US household savings are held in credit unions, and only about 11% of non-revolving consumer loans are issued by credit unions. I think the main reason is that they aren't able to offer the conveniences and services of a for-profit bank. Well, that'll do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. Thank you so much for joining today and every day, and I'll see you again tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.